What's up, family? It's Caden
and Christina, and today we are going to be talking about a show that I've been watching called Put a Ring on It, and in particular this couple LaRhonda and Shon led me to have a discussion with my husband about should a man be financially stable before getting married. Stay tuned. We will be playing clips from the show and giving a little reaction to them.
Should be interesting.
But first, if you haven't seen the show before, Put a Ring on It has 3 couples, and each of these couples are at an impasse. So they come on the show to decide whether or not they want to move forward and get married or leave each other and separate. However, they do this by dating other couples. Yeah.
Would you let me date someone else?
Stop that. Don't even play.
Mind you, they do it before they get married. I think after marriage would be extremely weird. And absolutely. I would never want to date anyone else other than my amazing wife.
Anyway. So, LaRhonda and Shon clearly love each other. Like, you can see the love, you can hear it when they talk about each other.
I am not willing to be in a relationship for years and years. He does not have forever.
However, Shon is hesitant to move forward in marriage because he doesn't feel like he's financially stable. So he's an entertainer, his income isn't consistent, and because of that, he has a few insecurities and doesn't feel like he can provide for LaRhonda as a husband should, and is therefore hesitant to move forward with marriage.
And when my wife first told me about Shon, I said it sounded like he didn't want to get married to her, and he was probably using that as an excuse. But when I actually watched the clip, or when she showed me the video, I really think he genuinely loves this woman. And so that really made it something interesting for me to talk about, because he loves her but don't want to get married to her because he feels financially insecure. But let's watch the clip real quick.
I'm an entertainer that is hosting, acting, writing, stand-up. And with entertainment, there can be ups and downs, right? So I already done wrote my proposal speech, but I definitely want to feel a little bit more stable financially. As a man, I want to stand on my own 2 feet before I actually get married.
What I hear is a bunch of excuses.
So clearly, LaRhonda and Shon love each other. But because Shon doesn't have the financial security that he wants or desires, he doesn't want to get married just yet.
And I guess as a guy, it's an interesting question about should a guy be financially stable before getting married? And I guess first we need to kind of define what financially stable is.
Right.
And so as you saw in the clip, Shon is an actor and writer, and he's doing all these things. He's an artist, and so he's not bringing in a stable income. And personally, I don't think not bringing in a stable income is as big as a problem as it's probably also not stable and not very high as well. And so those are 2 issues that we have right there. And it seems that his wife is willing to support him in this period of their life where his income isn't stable. But as a man growing up and watching his father operate in that way as a provider, he feels that he will be insignificant, or he is insecure as a man not being able to provide.
I'm an entertainer and my income is not consistent. Makes me feel inferior and sad.
I do think as a man, you desire to be a provider when you go into marriage. Generally speaking, I know that there are stay-at-home dads out there, and I think that's a beautiful thing for them. But generally speaking, most men want to be providers, and most women want a man who can provide for them. And I remember a conversation with my pastor, and I told my wife about this, that when I first moved to Boston, I told him I'm not looking to get into a relationship right now. And he asked me why not, and I was like, because I just want to focus on my career. I don't want the distraction of a wife or a woman in my life, because that's how I saw it, as a distraction from getting to the next level of my career. because I understood that, you know, if I'm in this thing working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours, really busting my butt to move to the next level, it's harder to do that when you have to tend to someone else's need, even give someone the time that they desire in a relationship. And so that's one of the reasons why I told him that, you know, I didn't want to get in a relationship. But one thing that he said to me that changed my mind on it was that, why can't you do that with a wife? And that question actually really stumped me, because, you know, theoretically, I said, you know, I guess there's no reason I can't do it without a wife, but all models that I have seen has been the man worked until he got to the place where he can provide completely for his family, then he entered into that family union. And so I think if not for my pastor's words then, I probably would not have even considered dating my now wife, because even though I think, you know, I was financially stable at the time we got together, I wasn't where I wanted to be in my career necessarily when we got together.
And so I think you bring up an interesting point in terms of what it means to be financially stable versus financially set. And so when I think of being financially stable, I'm thinking about, you know, do you have enough money to take care of your bills, or like, are you worried about, you know, taking care of the mortgage or food? You know, do you have enough money to sustain you? I'm thinking on a consistent basis. Like, that's what I'm thinking when I say financially stable. But financially set is like, you're at the place financially where you want to be. You know, you can travel whenever you want to, you can spend your money however you want to. So I think there is a difference between being financially stable and being financially set.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I totally agree that there's a difference between financially stable and financially set. Unfortunately, as a guy, if you're not able to provide in the way that you want to before getting into a relationship, and I think for Shon in particular as well, it might be a little bit of financial insecurity.
Exactly.
And I think as a guy, sometimes until you're where you want to be in life, if you have that ideology of being the main provider for your family, financial insecurity can be something that troubles your relationship, even
Agreed.
when you may be financially stable. And so I think it might actually be a bigger issue than just him being financially stable, because, you know, his, I guess, girlfriend mentioned that, you know, she would be comfortable with a guy making anywhere between $50,000 to $500,000, and she just said that as a number, not as like that hard $50,000 number. But who knows if he even makes, you know, $50,000? And based on the show, probably maybe doesn't, maybe does, maybe now that he's on the show, I don't know. But I think regardless, it's still, he may still be insecure in the relationship as long as she makes more money than him. And so if that's the problem, that's an even bigger issue for them to actually deal with, that level of financial insecurity that some men may have when their partner makes more money.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna lie, when I first saw the clip, I was like, well, you know, she wants to get married, they clearly love each other, you know, why not just get married and work through it together? But then I thought a little bit more about it, and, you know, he's in a place where it sounds like he doesn't even really know how much money he'll be getting on a regular basis. And I think as a woman, for me, I need security. So I need to, if you don't know how much money you're gonna make, I need for us to at least have a plan. So if you lose your job, or if I lose my job, do we have enough money to take care of the bills together, or to provide for even like the basic necessities together? And so I think that even if he may not be stable, perhaps they can come up with a plan so that there will be stability in their relationship financially.
Yeah, no, and I think that's good, and you know, that I would say absolutely work in our relationship in terms of we have solid financial plans for even if both of us lose our job at the same time, where we can survive for 6+ months or more. But I also think as a man, if Shon wants to be the provider for his family and even know that his wife may feel similar to how you feel about needing a level of security and not being able to provide that level of security, makes it very hard to get into a long-term relationship, especially a marriage with someone, because they're already in a long-term relationship. But like, you know, we were discussing right before we started recording, we were talking about 50% of marriages ending in divorce, and 70% of those with some type of financial issues. And so now you're adding that layer onto it, the level of stress that finances cause in marriage, someone who's already insecure about their finances. And so the littlest thing that his wife can do or say that says, you know, you're not providing for this family after marriage, can be something that triggers him to be like, this is why I didn't even want to marry you in the first place, type of thing, and explode to something even bigger. So, you know, not necessarily I'm sure I'm watching, but I'm curious to see what would actually happen at the end.
Yeah, no, me too. And back to your point, I think that the financial insecurity is what is going to cause the biggest issues. And like you said, you know, even LaRhonda mentioned like on a different episode that she felt like she had to walk on eggshells. And that's for, you know, other reasons, because Shon has other insecurities as well. But I feel like that's no way to start a marriage with that type of insecurity or feeling like you have to walk on eggshells. So I definitely think that there are, of course, other issues at play, but I think that financial insecurity can be a big reason why they may want to wait, or at least come up with a plan to get or find some sort of security with each other. Yeah. It's a hard topic because, you know, they really love each other.
Yeah, because I know there are a ton of men out there that, you know, will happily marry someone regardless to what their particular income is, and still feel stable. And so I do think it's more of an issue of financially insecure than it is an issue of financially stable. Because like you mentioned before, they possibly may be even able to come up with a plan that works, but the plan probably would not work for him because he has a drive and a need to be a provider, which I completely understand as a man. And you know, and I think we don't know yet, but I think what their relationship dynamic is will also tell a story. I'm not saying she's ever done anything to make him feel financially insecure, but we don't know yet. So, you know, we'll only find out by watching the show, and, you know, maybe we'll do another review, or what is this called? A reaction video. And so let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We're curious. Do you think that a man needs to be financially insecure before he gets into a marriage?
Financially stable.
Yes, financially stable. Thank you. What a wise one.
I think that financial stability is very important in marriage, especially given those statistics. 50% of marriages end up in divorce, and of those 50%, 70% is because of financial reasons. So I do feel like there needs to be a level of financial stability, and whether or not that's them coming up with a plan to have some sort of financial security, or continuing to go to counseling to address those issues with regards to financial insecurity. And also, you know, even thinking about how, you know, you have a woman holding you down, she loves you, taking that into consideration, like, you know, even LaRhonda said, you know, she can't wait forever, right? No. And I wouldn't expect her to wait forever, and she shouldn't wait forever. Right.
You know, if I was in Shon's position, I would have put a ring on it like I did with my wife, and figured the rest out. One of the things that I've certainly learned about marriage, and I think is true for any relationship, communication is one of the most important things. Expressing what you're feeling, what you're thinking with your partner, and then working on a plan together. So, you know, like I said, I think, you know, financial stability is one problem, but I think financial insecurity, which he may have, is an even bigger issue, and one that they could probably only solve through effective communication.
Agreed. So remember, like the video, share, subscribe to our channel for more tips and tricks on how to build wealth. And we love you, family, and remember to always
live your best life.